Good morning, everybody. Within my work as a peripatetic music teacher, I get to meet people from lots of different professions, including several veterinary surgeons. Here in the UK, I don't know if it's the same over there in America, but to become a veterinary surgeon is very difficult. You have to be more qualified even than a doctor. I suspect one of the reasons for that, of course, is because as a veterinary surgeon, you're called upon to carry out euthanasia, which is something that at the moment in the UK, doctors are not permitted to do. But it's kind of sad that for a lot of veterinary surgeons that I've spoken to, what they actually end up doing during their daily work is not really what they signed up for. It is this euthanasia of sick animals. They signed up. When they were youngsters, they joined. They went to veterinary college in order to take care and to make animals better. But within their daily work, they are regularly simply putting animals to sleep. So, as I say, it's not really what they signed up for. And I wonder if the same is true within the law enforcement over there in Wisconsin. I'd like to think that when the likes of Kusurek and Couchet and Peterson and Bushman and de Verbiage, even my good friend Robert Herman, that Remiker, Colburn, Link, and Vogel, I'd like to think that when they set out on their careers in law enforcement, they didn't deliberately set out along the path of either being involved in or trying to help cover up corruption within law enforcement. And even higher up the food chain, I'm sure that the late Peggy Leixelager, and her cronies Sweaty and Craterface and Robot Voice, I'm sure when they started off on their careers, it wasn't specifically with the plan that they would relish in several years' time, relish the fact that Making a Murderer has pointed out how corrupt they are. Of course, over there in Queso, we've got Jerry Pargle, who again part of a cover-up, and in particular, Wiegert and Fassbender. Did they sign up to become investigators, knowing that thinking that in a few years' time they would be forever remembered for the cowardly way they coerced the confession from Brendan Dassey? No, I think as with the veterinary surgeons, I don't think they set off on that path, but unfortunately, that is the way their path has taken them. Even the judges, Fox and Willis, at best they're competent, but at worst, for me, they were quite happy to go along with the state's wrongful conviction, of two innocent men, which then, of course, allows at least one guilty person, either of the murder or the framing, for guilty people to walk free. No, I don't think that they signed up for what they've eventually ended up doing. And of course, the problem is that, in particular, over there, it's self-regulation. I had a rather offensive fella that keeps on at me about the fact that he pointed out, well, Willis and Fox have got an unblemished record. All these police officers, they've got unblemished records. Well, of course they have, because it's self-regulation. But even a blind man can see the corruption that's going on there, and I don't really get what you're trying to say about the case. If you can't see that there's corruption there, then you really do need to go to Specsavers. But how can things change? Well, the good news is that in November, there will be a new governor elected. We're at the moment, we've got Charlie Berens skiing as a dependent in the November gubernatorial, I believe it's called. And what's particularly good about being an independent or a dependent is that he doesn't have to toe the party line. The one thing that Wisconsin now needs more than anything else is to obviously to clean up their act, and this can be done in two ways. It can start from the bottom up, whereby instead of the good cop fearing the crooked one, it should be the other way around. It should be the crooked cops that are afraid of the genuine ones. But also it comes from the other end. It comes from the top down. And if we could get Charlie Bounds in as governor, then I believe that ethical leadership will filter its way down. It might take a wee while, but it surely is better than the system that poor old Wisconsin, is suffering at the moment. Finally, today, of course, surely, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, will see sense. They'll see what the rest of the world sees. We can all see how coerced Brendan's confession was. It certainly does beg a belief that it's been, since March the 1st of 2006 that, Brendan has been locked up. And I worked out today that is 4,499 days since he was taken into custody. And that's just too long. It's far too long for systems to have failed so badly that that people can't see the fact that the state are perpetuating that they're still going on about this confession being true, which it clearly isn't. It was all fed to Brendan, and trying to maintain the convictions of Stephen Brendan. So, hopefully today we will hear the news that we want to hear, that Brendan's writ of certiorari has been granted, and then in November we get ethical leadership from the top down in Wisconsin. Anyway, I'll catch you again soon, no doubt. Bye for now.